And good morning. Welcome to the K-Files. We've got a full house this morning. We've got my co-host over here, retired Sergeant Tim Askew from the Highway Patrol. Good morning, Tim.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
Good. And here with us from Edgecombe County Sheriff's Office, we have Captain Tinder, who's been promoted over the Investigative Division and Special Operations. How you doing, sir?
Good morning, sir.
Good to see you. Good to see you. Haven't seen you in a while.
It's been a while. I've been busy.
Are you keeping Clee straight over there?
Yes, sir.
Good people.
Yes,
I worked with
great.
Clee for years too. Both of us did. You know, one of the best moves he ever made was to retire from the patrol and go to work over at Edgecombe. I know a lot of folks over in Edgecombe. They love him.
We do.
They love him
He
to
is
death.
great.
He's a
Yes, sir. He is
kind of
awesome.
like what we've got here in Nash County. He is a working sheriff.
Yes, sir.
And we love what he does for the K-Files too. So what case are we going to be talking about this morning from Edgecombe?
I want to talk back about Stephen McGray. He's the missing person we've had since actually January 2020. I didn't realize it had been 4 years already. Time goes by pretty quick.
It does, yeah.
Mr. McGray has definitely not been forgotten. He went missing on January 3rd of 2020, and he was reported missing by a family member 2 days later after his disappearance. And we did an exhaustive search. We actually had helicopters come in. We've had four-wheelers. We brought in cadaver dogs, scuba diving teams for the ponds when we first did this. And we did this for 3 or 4 days straight. And we don't know where he went to. I do know that we were able to determine that his credit card was used. When we started working that aspect of it, we figured out that his daughter had used his card after he went missing. We actually charged his daughter for credit card fraud, and those charges were dismissed due to the lack of not having a victim, but you can't find the victim. At this point in time, I would assume he is deceased. It's been 4 years and there's no sign of him. You know, he had Social Security, he had disability benefits that he was receiving. You know, if he was still around, he would definitely be calling to try and get those benefits.
Yeah.
And there's been no phone calls. Mr. McGray, you know, he was just lived on Robertson School Road. He'd walk back and forth to the store to get his drinks and food. And we walked and drove that whole area thinking maybe he got hit by a car, was laying in a ditch somewhere. And that's not the case. He just, you know, he disappeared.
Where is Robertson School Road?
Robertson School Road is off of Highway 111 North in Tarboro.
Okay.
It's about 5 miles outside of Princeville.
Okay. Now, the daughter who was charged,
Yes, sir.
did she at the time that you know of, did she have a boyfriend or?
Yes, she had a boyfriend. We tried to interview her, and she would not talk to us about knowing anything about it.
Imagine that. Yeah, imagine that.
So-
I'm assuming, and I don't know, I mean, me and you haven't discussed this case outside the show. Suspect?
We don't have one, but you know, we charged the daughter with the credit card, and we know that credit card was in his house.
That's exactly right.
So,
I mean, you stop
I
and
don't
think. I mean, I wouldn't dare use my mom or dad's credit card knowing full well. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I'm not saying she did it or anything like that. I'm not making that accusation. I'm just saying I'd be terrified of, you know,
The repercussions of your parents.
Absolutely. The only way I would consider doing it was if I knew full well that, you know, them never finding out.
Right.
Just,
this case has bothered everybody at the sheriff's office. As a matter of fact, we were talking about it yesterday, and we're talking about trying to go do a search again. The biggest thing is we want to find his body to give to the family to lay him to rest. You know, at this point in time, 4 years later, it doesn't take much reason and common sense to figure out that he's probably no longer here.
Yeah.
So we just want to find what remains we can of his so we can turn that back over to the family so they can do a proper burial.
Yeah. Well, hopefully somebody's watching, maybe an ex-boyfriend, maybe a former friend. And we want to reiterate to them, look, we pay up to $15,000
Yes,
in
sir.
cash. We'll put in your hand for any tip that we can get to you.
right,
that you can kind of evaluate and put some credit to. We'll pay up to $15,000 for that information, and nobody will never know who you are. Please, if it's on your heart, you know this information, you can help bring closure, some answers, and things like that to this family. Please share the information that you know. And I would encourage you, please, to reach out to Captain Tinder with Edgecombe County Sheriff's Office, Crime Stoppers, Fighting Crime, anybody.
Anybody.
Share that information.
Yes, sir. And I can speak from experience. I know that they do pay those rewards out and within 24 to 48 hours, because they have in some of our cases before. So I can attest to the fact that they will pay those rewards out. So if you know something, say something. You know, it can remain anonymous. We would just like to know where he's at, first and foremost. That's the biggest thing. We would like to find his remains.
Yeah, yeah. Anything else you'd like to share?
I would like to say, you know, you might not hear about some of these cold cases we have, but we do work on them. And as I was saying, I was speaking to my team yesterday, and we were talking about Stephen McGray. We have several cold cases that we still work on. You know, it's not like we just forget them. And that's what I want the families to understand. Sometimes they'll call and be like, haven't heard anything in a while. It's not that we forgot or we're not doing anything. It's just sometimes you don't have any information, and I don't want to call you every week and bring up a traumatic memory for you of your son or daughter who was killed, and I don't have anything to give you.
Just to say there's been no movement.
Right.
Yeah, because that could put a bad taste in a loved one's mouth, because they're
Correct.
going to feel like they've been left out, left behind, and that their loved one's case is not a priority, when really it is.
Yes, sir.
You know, when really it is.
And that's the biggest thing I want people to understand, is that we do care, and we do try and figure out who did this. Sometimes people won't talk. You know, I can't solve a case if I don't have anybody to tell me anything.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Well, Captain Tinder, we greatly appreciate you coming on. We're going to take a real quick break, and we'll be right back right after this. And welcome back to the K-Files. Again, my guest co-host is Tim Askew, retired sergeant with the Highway Patrol, and with us this morning is Hannah with HS Howell Farms. We kind of had you planned for the morning show, but we got long-winded with the mayor, and I apologize. So we're going to work you in here with the with the K-Files as good as we can. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Let's see, how do I explain this? Freddie Howell, who's running for county commissioner, is your dad.
Yes.
We're all family. He's married to my cousin Keisha. Think the word of y'all. Y'all are some of the hardest working girls I have ever met. You remind me of your mom. Growing up, she had to work all the time, and look at her now. I mean, great family. So what's going on at the farm?
We've got a lot going on. Right now we're kind of gearing up for Father's Day. We're getting all the produce ready, making sure if you're going to cook for Dad or that special someone in your life, we'll have all the produce. We've got corn, cucumbers, tomatoes, peaches, pretty much anything that's coming off right now, we've got it out at the farm. And then we've also got lots of like barbecue rub, seasonings, barbecue sauce, hot sauce, that kind of stuff if you want to come out and make
Do gift baskets
a gift
too?
basket. We do custom gift baskets all year. So specifically for Father's Day, we can make them custom. You can pick out, you know, a rub, a barbecue sauce, hot sauce, put some pecans or peanuts in there, some chips. We've got some barbecue grilling accessories we also offer. You can put some of that in there. But a nice, easy gift that will 100% be used. Everybody likes to grill, barbecue, so
And y'all
makes it easy.
And y'all are at the farmers market here in Rocky Mount every
We
Saturday,
are.
right?
Saturday and Tuesday.
Okay.
We do Tuesdays through the end of July, and that's 3 to 6 on Tuesdays, and then we're there 8 to 1 on Saturdays.
I was telling Tim off camera, I mean, I was like, man, you have got to go to the farm. It's hard to imagine your storefront location on the farm. I mean, it's you got rubs, you got ice cream, you got coffee. I've seen on Facebook where y'all are actually throwing around the idea of having hot dogs.
Yes.
I mean, it's you've got flags, I love going on Sunday afternoon getting ice cream. That's just my newest thing.
Oh, yeah.
Got some of the best ice cream I've ever had. I get the butter pecan
Butter pecan.
on the sugar waffle cone.
Yep.
And I just eat it and kind of stroll around looking at plants and rose bushes and all kinds of good stuff. And I see here you got a lot of
We do.
good produce. What's hot now? What's available?
So right now we're starting to kind of fill our reservations. We do bulk produce reservations. So if you want to do some pickles, you want to do some canning tomatoes, kind of put up for the winter season when it's not coming off fresh, we offer that. So right now I believe we just finished filling some of our cucumber reservations for people doing pickles. Being at first of the season, they're the perfect size. They're small enough to still do pickles. And we are still taking orders for those, but we're getting ready to move into our corn. Next week we should have our devotion, which is our white sweet corn we're kind of known for. That'll be ready hopefully the end of next week, weather permitting, and then we'll slowly start filling orders for that. People putting up corn.
Is that corn sweet?
It is. It's a lot of people ask for Silver Queen. It's actually sweeter
usually
than
what I
Silver
get.
Queen.
Okay.
Yes.
Got to try.
Yeah,
I'm
the
like you, I'm gonna
devotion
get the
is
Silver Queen.
devotion's a lot sweeter than Silver Queen. It's a
gotta
little bit
make
more
it on
crispy kernel, but people love it. Everybody who's been a Silver Queen fan that has gotten the devotion has switched over and they
Alright.
stick with it.
I'm gonna have to
So
go get
Y'all
some.
take a pre-order on that.
we do.
Okay.
We also have it, available pretty much all the time we're open. If you just want kind of like a bag or enough to cook for a meal. But anything kind of large, we like to kind of know just ahead of time. That way make sure we've got it fresh for you, and have it when you come pick it up.
I am a pickle connoisseur. I'm actually one of these people who I get pickles delivered like a club.
Oh gosh.
Okay, I do. I just love
I can see
trying
that.
different kinds of pickles. And as you notice, when you come in with that, I was like, okay, let me see the label on this, see if
Yes.
I've tried it. But I love. When I went the other day, your dad's like, look, man, try this. Was it an artichoke pickle?
Probably.
I mean, y'all have some of the most unique things in your store. Chips.
Yes.
The potato chips. Who are they made by?
Carolina Kettle.
Carolina
out of Raleigh,
Kettle.
right in front of the fairgrounds.
The favorite chip that you have that I like is the crab
Crab
roll. Oh my dude! Look, I'm getting hungry just even talking about it.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to make a trip.
But
What's
I hear you on the radio talking on 98.5. He likes those chips. What's his name? Lundy.
Lundy.
Okay.
Yes.
He loves them too.
He does. Everybody that's ever had them has loved
Yeah,
them.
they are good.
No, I'm going to go get some now. Though.
You've got to go, man. You have
Oh, I
got to
will.
go.
I'm gonna go this. I'll either go this week or this weekend.
Yeah.
And back to the pickles. So I brought the baby sweet on purpose. So we are doing free samples in the month of June at the farmers market and at the farm on Saturdays. So this Saturday we'll be doing free samples of the baby sweet pickles. So if you want to try them, come out and see us this Saturday, and we'll have them at, like I said, the farm and Nash County Farmers Market.
What's y'all's hours of service so everybody knows that you work?
The farm, we're open. Every day is 8 to 6. We just changed it in June. So 8 to 6 Monday through Saturday, and then 1 to 6 on Sundays.
Okay.
Yeah. Like I was saying, I mean, it's turned into a ritual at my house. Go on Sunday afternoon. Get
Oh,
your
yeah,
comb.
I don't blame
And
you.
look, I'm not the only one, because when I go,
Everybody has
it's
the
like
same
everybody's
mindset.
there getting ice cream.
Yep. About 2 to 4 o'clock on Sundays, somebody's
Wrap up.
got to stay at the ice cream cooler
Yeah.
all the time.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
So
And yeah, I saw back in the winter when you opened back up, y'all had coffee, different coffees or something
we
like
do.
that, flavored
We're
coffees.
doing hot
How's that?
coffee. We put in our espresso machine, so we do lattes, espresso, cappuccino, and then we also launched our iced coffee, so we do the same line of drinks and iced coffee as well, which is really popular right now with it being so hot outside. So
And y'all do Ashe County cheese?
We do Ashe County. The hoop cheese, we have some of the cheese spreads, and we've got a new brand, Pine River.
Okay.
It's very similar to Ashe County. We've got some of theirs in as well. They have a little bit larger variety. Some new flavors that we're offering.
I usually eat breakfast with your dad on Wednesday mornings at the at Wiggs, and he was like, JP, because he knows I'm funny over a biscuit. Okay, he's like, man, you have got to try these
The new
frozen biscuits.
biscuits.
I was like, man, I don't eat stuff like. He's like, no, forget it. you've got to try this. And he's been on me to try it, so I'm gonna go by and
They're
try
good.
that. And he was telling me about the these meals that y'all have that are kind of.
They're ready to go. We just partnered with Pies and Sides out of Mount Holly.
Okay.
So they make pre-made meal pies.
Mm-hmm.
They have individual size and then they have family size as well. They come frozen, so all you do is pop it out, put it in the oven, put it in there, bake it like it says on the package, and then it's done. And we also they do a line of chicken salad. So we have regular chicken salad, and then we have one that's loaded. It's got almonds and cranberries in it.
I've tried the regular.
You
and
need to
it
try the other.
is-
You need to try the other one, dude.
my God! it
Oh
is
my
good.
God.
But they're the same company who make the biscuits. So
Okay.
we have the buttermilk biscuit, which they call their cat head biscuit.
That's right.
And they're, at least, I would say 6 inches when they're cooked. They're
God.
massive. And then they also do a cheddar biscuit, which has got some hoop cheese in it as well. So they're both very large. I could hardly eat one of them myself, but people love them.
And right there at the checkout, I usually, when I come to get ice cream, I get the you have like candied pecans.
The roasted nuts.
Oh,
God.
Yes, they're cinnamon roasted nuts.
That's yep.
They're warm, so
Mm-hmm.
we've got almonds, cashews, and pecans.
Yeah,
So-
if I lived closer, I'd have to get me a little scooter because I'd weigh 500 pounds, man. Because when I go, I'm constantly looking for something to try and something to nibble on.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And what about, y'all have partnered with somebody as far as like beef and meat
Yes.
and things like that, right?
So we just restocked it. Everybody's been loving the ground beef.
Okay.
We got it in last Friday and we sold all of it that day. So we're trying
wow.
we've restocked it, but we're trying to bring in more meat products as well. So that way people are just saying they don't want to go to the grocery store.
Yeah.
They just want to have a kind of a one-stop shop here at
That's
the
it.
farm.
One-stop shop.
So right now we do have the ground beef and it's 90/10
Okay.
from a local
I haven't
farm.
tried that yet.
It's really good. You can definitely tell a difference in the local and the fresh compared to what you get at the grocery store.
Absolutely.
But we're trying to kind of expand on that line of meats as well.
And the bread, your dad told me to go try the bread, and I did. And I'm always behind the curve because y'all put on Facebook, hey, we've got bread.
Yep.
And before I can get there,
It gets cold.
the bread is gone. It's
Yes.
sold out. So that must be a red hot item too.
It is, and we're working on making sure we can get more for everybody. We're expanding the kitchen we've got at the farm. We've got our commercial kitchen, so we're working on expanding that so that way we can produce more, so that way we can have more for the customers to buy. But right now we're doing sourdough. We do half loaves and whole loaves. She started doing some jalapeno cheddar sourdough.
Hadn't
and,
tried that.
Oh, dude.
That sounds
some
good.
sandwich
That's
bread.
that's the. I'll be headed there just for that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
The sourdough
she
jalapeno is
normally makes
good.
it fresh. Right now she's making it fresh Saturday mornings.
Okay.
Okay.
So normally it goes out first thing in the morning at the farm, and then occasionally she'll do a batch during the week. So like I said, we're working on getting it so we have it there all the time.
And Rocky Road fudge.
Yes,
Oh, good.
Y'all
God.
do homemade fudge
we
too.
do. We do.
Now, what don't y'all do?
I'm telling
I
you,
like this. This is a
man.
one-stop shop.
We have
can handle it
everything.
all right
We
there.
have
That's
This
what
is
I'm
going to
talking
be one
about.
of these places where you run in to get a cone of ice cream
And you come out with the
$250
two bags.
later,
Yep, that's
you leave
exact-
going,
Yep,
Yes.
that's
what
me.
did I just do?
I go in for something, but then I'll go looking and it's done.
Yes.
I'm done.
Yeah.
What's
it's
the
good.
location of where this is at?
So the farm is located at 4371 Massey Road. We have a Zebulon address, but we're just right outside of Middlesex. We're off Highway 97. And then, like I said, we're also at the Farmers Market in Nash County on Tuesdays and Saturdays. And that's right off Peachtree Street at the Rocky Mount Mills exit.
And again, Father's Day is this weekend. I know y'all do gift cards because I've bought them. You sell all kinds of things to barbecue, rubs. You have like a little grilling area that you have all kinds of little things for Dad. Hint, hint, any of my kids they might be
Especially the
watching. My
jalapeno cheddar
wife,
loaf bread.
Yes.
gift
Sourdough.
card. But Hannah, look, anything you want to say, anything you want to add.
Just come out and see us. We're still adding new products. So we recently expanded when we reopened in March this year. Typically in the past we've shut down after Christmas and took a break until probably around March when we reopened. Since we expanded, the goal is to stay open year round now.
I think
So we're not going to close the doors. So we're always adding new products. We're still kind of expanding our our line of produce and other goods. We got lots of other mixes, and we've got over 100 jams and jellies, stuff like that. So come out and see us, and we'll hook you up.
Okay, all right. Well, folks, we're going to take a real quick break, pay some bills, and we'll be right back. And welcome back to the K-Files. I'm here with Tim Askew. Tim, again, thank you for coming on.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for co-hosting. And,
Always.
Something we've talked about in the past, and that is your father-in-law, former Nash County Sheriff Dick Jenkins.
Mm-hmm.
What's the latest on him? How's he doing?
He's doing well. His cancer treatments are doing really well. Matter of fact, he's got one today. Thank everybody for their thoughts and their prayers. We ask that you continue those. No spreading. His last 2 tests that he's had, nothing has spread, and it actually looks better than what it did when they first found it. So
Good.
We're blessed. Thank you.
Good. You know, he actually played a role in my hiring at the sheriff's office years ago.
Yeah.
Great guy.
Absolutely.
Think the world
Can't
of
find no better.
Dick Jenkins.
Good.
And I remember back when he was singing with that
With his
little
brothers.
quartet, you know.
With his brothers.
Are all of them still living?
No, one passed away about two and a half months ago, but the other ones are still living. Yeah.
I loved hearing him sing.
Oh yeah, their group was good. Very good.
But he was he a lot of folks love Dick Jenkins.
Mhm.
You know. So he will continue to be in our thoughts and prayers, the
Thank
family
you.
and everything else.
I appreciate it.
Well, Tim, as you know, here on the K-Files, we talk about cold cases.
Absolutely.
We talk about details of cases, and we try to solicit input from the community to kind of help bring closure or bring, hold somebody accountable for their actions
That's
that
right.
might have perpetrated a crime.
That's right.
And something we've talked about is, I dare say there are a lot of shared suspects in these cases.
Mm-hmm.
One of the cases we're going to talk about this morning is Susan Sharon Cleary. Susan Sharon Cleary. This case is from May 16th, 1983, when 20-year-old and pregnant Susan Sharon Cleary was found dead in her bed midday, nude, with 2 unfired guns nearby. An autopsy determined that the cause of death was asphyxiation secondary to strangulation. Cleary was found dead in her own bed by her father after she didn't show up for work. A bra was wrapped around her nude body, but it wasn't used to kill her, and she had not been sexually assaulted, according to investigators. Her temple was bruised, and again there were 2 guns placed on top of the dressers, and previous to that they had been hidden. Neither had been fired. The bed was moved out of place. A footstool, a rather large one, was out of place. Additionally, there was a guard dog. The dog was known to be excessively loud and very aggressive if anything out of the ordinary was going on. The dog had not barked that morning. Her mother, Maurice Sharon, worked in an insurance office and was expecting to see her daughter at an appointment with a realtor who worked in her office. When she missed her appointment, her parents called her job, and they said that she hadn't shown up for work that morning. Susan Sharon Cleary had already named her baby Chad Ray Cleary, and he lies beside his mother in her final resting place. Again, this case, Susan Sharon Cleary, May 16th, 1983. So let's speculate. She was 20 years old. She was pregnant, found dead by her parents in her bed midday. Just speculating with what I shared with you, what jumps out at you?
The one thing, well, she was nude on that end, but the main thing that jumped out at me. A little bit of moving. The guns were normally hidden. They were sitting out. But the dog is the key, because if that dog didn't lose its mind like it normally does, it was somebody that knew her and knew that dog that was close to that family.
Yeah, I agree. Another thing that comes into play is the nude body.
Mm-hmm.
She wasn't sexually assaulted.
Key, yep.
You know,
That's just...
that's odd and different. You know what
yes,
I mean?
that is odd and different, because normally with nudity you have...
Yeah, you have a sexual assault was
Yep.
taking place.
Absolutely.
The bra that was
Wrapped around
placed tied around her.
Are they
Okay,
saying that they
was-
just pulled it down off her shoulders and it was wrapped around her that way? You know what I'd like to
Yeah,
know how it was
yeah.
wrapped, I guess.
That sounds like maybe something that was intentionally done to kind of throw an investigator off as far as cause of death goes.
It also, it puts me in a frame of mind, was she getting ready to have sex and the crap hit the fan?
Mm-hmm.
And
But why would you have guns
the killer
out?
killed her before they had sex, or because, I mean, that's, dude.
Okay, if you are, let's talk about you for a minute.
All right.
Why would you put guns out? Why would you have guns all of a sudden readily accessible?
Something's come up that's either frightened me or scared me.
That's exactly. I was
That's
sitting here
exactly
thinking,
right.
you know,
That's true.
Do I? Have there been times I put a gun in my bed?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, there is.
Oh, dude,
When
I got one sit.
When I knew something was not right or a possibility
Yep.
that something could.
First instinct, baby.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. Yes,
Okay.
it is.
She was afraid of something,
Exactly.
and she was expecting this.
Yeah, but to me, it would, if it's normally hidden and you got them sitting out. Absolutely, I agree with you 100%.
You know, sad situation.
Very.
Folks, if you know anything about the Susan Sharon Cleary case, please pick the phone up, share it. I believe this is a case out of Halifax County. Please reach out to law enforcement, Crime Stoppers, text a tip, Fighting Crime on Facebook, anything. If you make a tip, we'll get it to the proper authorities, okay?
Yep.
And you can get paid up to $15,000 in cash. This family really would appreciate anything that you have to share. This next case we're going to talk about, we're kind of going back here. This is a case from 1982. Alma Ruth Atkinson. Alma Ruth Atkinson, July 31st, 1982. Officers of the Wilson Police Department were dispatched to 608 Sugg Street in Wilson in reference to a person who was hurt inside of a residence. Officers arrived and found Alma Ruth Atkinson had been murdered as a result of a stabbing which had occurred approximately sometime between 2 a.m. and 4 a.m. The suspect was described as being a black male that was between the ages of 18 and 25 years old. He had brown eyes, a medium afro, a light complexion, a thin mustache that was curled up on the ends, and a scar about 6 inches on his right leg near his ankle. The suspect would be somewhere around 55 to 65 years old now.
Get a little older than that, probably.
Yeah, I'm thinking so too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Again, Alma Ruth Atkinson. This is a Wilson Police Department case from July 31st, 1982, 608 Sugg Street in Wilson. Murdered in her home from a stabbing. Folks, if you know anything about this case or any other case that we've talked about, please reach out to Wilson Police Department. Reach out to Fighting Crime or anyone else. that one tip that you might think is insufficient or insignificant could lead to a break in a case.
Absolutely.
Share that information and get paid up to $15,000. And when we say in cash, we mean in cash, literally.
Confidential.
A paper bag full of cash. I
That's
mean,
exactly
we'll
right.
bring it to you. And we'll never know who you are.
I'd like to know a little bit more about this case. Was it a break-in? Did they take anything, or was it a break-in that went wrong, or was it a robbery where,
Yeah.
I wish I'd know a little bit more about it.
This is one we need to make a note on so we can reach out and see what the status is on this case with Wilson Police Department.
All right.
This next case is Robert Earl Demery. This case is actually from 1977. September 22nd, 1977, Robert Earl Demery, a 16-year-old, was found shot in the parking lot of London Mills on the 500 block of Paul Street in Rocky Mount. He had just returned home that night from being out of state and was last seen getting off the bus at the Rocky Mount Trailways bus depot on South Washington Street. A dark-colored car was seen leaving the London Mills parking lot. Again, Robert Earl Demery, September 22nd, 1977.
16 years old.
Yeah, 16 years old. Shot in the parking lot. 500 block of Paul Street. Terrible. I mean, so many things.
That's
are
so
going
unusual
on
for
right
that time
Yeah.
frame.
Yeah.
That's very unusual.
Again, if you know anything about Robert Earl Demery, 16-year-old, please reach out to Rocky Mount Police Department. Text a tip, fighting crime, Crime Stoppers, anything. Any tip that you might have, share it with law enforcement. All right, let's talk about Bernice Smith. Bernice Smith. This case is from June 6th, 1983. Sunday, the 5th of June, 1983. 23-year-old Bernice Smith left her parents' home in Scotland Neck with the intent to go to a local store or hangout location. Bernice Smith was seen by multiple people walking through the town of Scotland Neck Sunday evening in the early morning hours of Monday. On Monday, the 6th of June, a farm worker traveling down Baker School Road found Bernice lying in a ditch on the side of the road. She had been struck multiple times in the head with a blunt object. That could be random.
Yeah, it could.
It could have been targeted.
Yep.
No matter how you spin it, it was senseless.
Absolutely.
She was last seen walking down the side of the road there in Scotland Neck, found on Baker's School Road. Bernice Smith, June 6, 1983. Folks, if you know anything, reach out to, that's Halifax County, right? Halifax County Sheriff's Office. Share that tip. Get paid up to $15,000. And we may not say it enough, but look, even if
Depends on where
there's
she lived in there, be Northampton. Yeah.
even if you know of a case that's not in this book, even if you know of a case that we have never discussed, if you have a tip about a case, please reach out to us.
No matter how minute it is.
That's exactly right.
It could be just one or two words that you say that could bring this whole case together.
And Tinder touched on it earlier.
Yeah.
If you see something, say something.
Yeah.
The way we clean up communities, we clean up neighborhoods, we clean up cities, is to take ownership and to hold people accountable for their actions, get them off the streets, and we can't do that without your help. Law enforcement can't do it all. It takes an ownership stake in the community.
Absolutely.
I mean, it does.
You want your community safe, come together and make things happen.
Yeah. Tim, thank you for coming
Thank
on.
you, sir. Good seeing you again, as always.
We appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
When you see Sheriff Jenkins, let him know we love him.
Will do.
Let him know he's in our continued thoughts and prayers.
Absolutely. Thank you.
And folks, that's everything for the K Files today. Be sure to tune in next week. Until then, be safe.
Be safe. Have a blessed one.
Happy Father's Day.
Yep.